Strange phenomena. Wealthy individuals summon for not buying property. Bank withdrawals require approval. Mainland Economist exclaims. Grassroots finance on the brink of collapse. China's housing market collapses. Major real estate firm lays off all employees in 3 hours. Belt and Road leaves ghost towns in Malaysia. Heavy rain to hit 11 Chinese provinces. Nearly 27,000 people evacuated in Fujian. It's all covered in today's China Truths. Strange phenomena. Wealthy individuals summon for not buying property. Bank withdrawals require approval. The Chinese economy is crumbling at a pace that is hard to imagine. Despite the CCP's efforts to revive the housing market with the most extensive measures to date, including removing restrictions on purchasing homes and lowering down payments, these efforts have proven futile. A recent publication from a local social media account disclosed that a street office in Qingdao, Shandong, issued a notice. It stated that residents with substantial bank savings who do not purchase property are considered to have low awareness. The street office would then step in to encourage them to buy homes, incorporating this task into its employees' performance evaluations. Workers at the street office confirmed receiving instructions to include the online registration of new commercial properties in their evaluations. Failure to achieve these targets could result in penalties for the community and financial deductions for the community secretary. Netizens have sharply questioned how the street office would know individuals' financial details. On the 12th, Mr. Zhang from Qingdao shared with Radio Free Asia that he had heard about the neighborhood committee urging residents with significant savings to buy homes, purportedly to assist the government in overcoming financial difficulties. However, he pointed out that with the ongoing construction over the past 2 years, Qingdao now has an excess of houses, and both second-hand and new homes are not selling. Mr. Zhang also noted that Qingdao has introduced a program to swap old houses for new ones, with government subsidies, but the response from the public has been tepid. According to him, the main reason is that ordinary people do not have money, and they are also worried about the economic future. If the economy collapses, there would be no safety net for the public. Ms. Singh from the real estate industry in Guangdong told Radio Free Asia that the government has directed local authorities to encourage home purchases. Consequently, state-owned enterprises in Guangdong have organized meetings for middle-level managers, urging department heads to voluntarily buy homes, and banks have reduced down payments to 7.5%. However, the more the policies are made attractive, the less inclined people are to invest in property. Mr. Zheng, a resident of Shanghai, used his own 2-bedroom apartment as an example, where the price fell from over 4 million yuan, about $551,300 to just over 2 million yuan, about $276,000. He commented that that's a reduction of more than 1.3 million yuan. For ordinary people, those who couldn't afford it still can't. Because a low-income salary only covers the daily expenses of a household, where would they find the extra money to buy a house? As we've been reporting, the economic outlook in China is grim, with unemployment rates skyrocketing. Consequently, despite the continuous drop in property prices, there is no willingness to buy, further worsening the economic decline and creating a vicious cycle. Earlier, the Australian Broadcasting Corporation reported that the rapid disintegration of the Chinese economy and the collapse of the real estate market are raising concerns about China's financial system. It also highlighted how, historically, militaristic leaders have not hesitated to cause external conflicts to distract from domestic issues. Currently, the financial system in China is showing alarming signs. As previously reported, on the 11th, a depositor at Jilin Bank was unable to withdraw less than 100,000 yuan, about $14,000, without police station approval. In an interview, a staff member from this bank branch mentioned that any withdrawal exceeding 20,000 yuan, about $2,800, must be police approved. This practice is not exclusive to Jilin Bank, as several other banks have adopted similar regulations. This information has caused a stir online. Kaijing Lingyan, a financial commentator on social media, highlighted in a live broadcast that the liquidity crisis in small and medium-sized banks, fearful of mass withdrawals by depositors, could trigger a panic and potentially lead to a bank run. The economic situation in the Northeast is particularly dire, prompting local authorities to go to great lengths to restrict withdrawals. If the economic downturn persists in other regions, could withdrawal restrictions be implemented elsewhere? This remains a possibility. Moreover, with the involvement of police and other governmental authorities in financial matters, actions deemed inappropriate by individuals, such as bypassing internet restrictions or posting online, could lead to the freezing of personal bank accounts. The commentator has advised Chinese citizens against keeping their money in banks. Mainland Economist exclaims, Grassroots finance on the brink of collapse. Guan Qingyu, a renowned Chinese economist and former vice president of Minsheng Securities, sounded the alarm on social media on June 10 about the imminent collapse of China's grassroots finances. The initial post was published at 12:12 p.m. local time. Later that same day, at 5:30 p.m., he posted again, emphasizing the need to focus on people's welfare and protect the fundamental needs of the populace. Shortly afterward, a leaked table allegedly detailing Housing Provident Fund contributions across various Chinese government agencies and enterprises revealed that, as of 2023, over 48 million public servants were employed by the Chinese government. These concise posts by Guan had a significant ripple effect. On June 11, a user named Asia Finance on Platform X shared Guan Qingyu's messages and raised further questions by asking, "So, how many people does China's finances actually support?" This user posted a spreadsheet that appeared to originate from within the Chinese system, showing that 48.359 million employees from state agencies and institutions, and 30.5497 million from state-owned enterprises, had made contributions to the Housing Provident Fund. In the post, Asia Finance pointed out that because formal employees within the system contribute 100% to Social Security, the number of Provident Fund contributors should match the number of officially listed employees. Additionally, the post provided comparative examples. New York, with a population of 18 million, has only 6 city leaders, including 1 mayor, 3 deputy mayors, 1 council chair, and 1 deputy chair. Tokyo, with a population of 13 million, has 7 city leaders. In contrast, Tiling City in Liaoning Province, China, which has a population of just 3 million, boasts 41 city leaders. These include 1 party committee secretary, 4 deputy secretaries, 11 standing committee members, 1 mayor, 9 deputy mayors, 3 mayoral assistants, 1 chair of the People's Congress, 7 deputy chairs, 1 chair of the CPPCC, and 8 vice chairs. This city government also includes 20 deputy secretary generals at the division level, providing each mayor with an average of 2 secretary generals. In response to the situation, Chinese netizens from both within the country and overseas have been vigorously discussing the topic. On China's own Weibo platform, one user expressed astonishment at the excessive number of people eating the emperor's grain, a term referring to being a government official or a public servant. It suggests this as a reason why grassroots finances are faltering. Another user pointedly identified the absence of a monitoring system as the fundamental issue, asserting that no amount of money is ever enough. Comments from overseas Chinese netizens harshly criticized the CCP's party affairs system for its reliance on the governmental system, with state finances underpinning an expansive party system that, in effect, plunders the wealth of ordinary people to support a privileged class. One netizen remarked that all party workers in China, including members of party committees, general branches, secretaries of provincial and county committees, and both major and minor officials, were initially not entitled to official rations but were meant to subsist solely on party rations. With billions of people in China, who has actually consented to them taking their portion from the public sustenance? Another netizen suggested that we should cut back on all those full-time party officials, make them find their own way, work for the party and live on party dues, not the state's funds. That way, the government would have a surplus. China's housing market collapses. Major real estate firm lays off all employees in 3 hours. On June 13, according to reports from mainland media, 2 established Shenzhen-based real estate firms, Yingshui Real Estate Development Company, Limited and Zhonghong Investment Group Company, Limited, had recently dismissed all 40-plus employees working on their joint project, Tianhu Island Garden in Longhua, Shenzhen, within 3 hours. On the same afternoon, former employees of Yingshui Real Estate, along with some construction workers, demonstrated in front of the office building. The entrance was plastered with various notices, including one announcing the dissolution of the team and another providing feedback about employee conditions. The notices stated that due to the impact of the broader environment, the company faces severe operational difficulties. To ensure the continuation of the company's operations, it was necessary to make adjustments. As per the company's decision to introduce new partners, it was imperative to dismiss the existing departments and employees to smooth out the collaboration process. With nearly the entire company having been let go, no representatives could be found at Yingshui Real Estate's office location. The project is close to completion, yet no workers were present on site that day. Senior current affairs commentator Wang Yi commented, "This event highlights the current perilous state of China's real estate market." The real estate sector constitutes about 1/4 of the national GDP. Such a significant void, if it were to collapse, would be impossible to fill. Since May 17 this year, several ministries of the CCP and the State Council have introduced an unprecedented policy to save the market, yet it has shown no signs of improvement. On June 7, the State Council convened an executive meeting to specifically address China's real estate policies and plan numerous follow-up measures, indicating that the issues plaguing the entire real estate market are far more severe than anticipated by the CCP. The current policies are too marginal to change the overall situation. According to commentator Wang He, with the CCP's third plenum approaching, the CCP might take further actions to try to salvage the market. He added that, however, when you look at the magnitude of China's real estate market and compare it with the policies the CCP has recently implemented, the biggest problem now is that the CCP is financially drained. It cannot launch a rescue package like the 4 trillion yuan, about $551.3 billion stimulus it did in 2008. Without that level of intervention, the fate of China's real estate market is essentially sealed. It is likely to continue deteriorating, creating a financial black hole where minor policy interventions are no longer effective. Belt and Road leaves ghost towns in Malaysia. The Chinese economy is currently facing a slowdown, which has heavily impacted domestic real estate developers like Country Garden. This company has left numerous unfinished buildings across China, and its financial struggles have extended to its international ventures. One of its major projects, the vast forest city Artificial Island in Malaysia, developed under the Chinese Communist Party's Belt and Road Initiative, is now being described as an intimidating ghost town due to its debt crisis. In October last year, Country Garden defaulted on $11 billion in offshore debt, pushing it to the brink of liquidation. By February, the situation escalated when Evercredit Limited petitioned the High Court of Hong Kong to wind up the company. The court postponed the hearing until the end of July, as Country Garden's international projects, particularly Forest City, face increased scrutiny amid these financial difficulties. According to a Nikkei report on June 13, Forest City in Johor, Malaysia, represents a significant venture by Country Garden, estimated at a cost of $100 billion. The project has attracted substantial investment from affluent Chinese, who have purchased luxury holiday villas valued at over $2 million each, despite the overarching financial challenges. Within a large domed sales center, visitors can explore various property models, access a daycare for children, dine at a restaurant, and shop at a duty-free store selling alcohol and tobacco. At its peak, the center employed 100 salespeople to serve mainly Chinese buyers, using strategies that emphasized the fast-selling properties to hasten decisions. Despite Country Garden's significant presence in Malaysia, the company remains largely alien to most Malaysians, catering primarily to clients from mainland China and Hong Kong, with fewer from Singapore and the local Malaysian Chinese community. Approximately 6 years have elapsed since the initiation of the Forest City development, which has now stalled. Country Garden has accumulated substantial debt. According to Nikkei, the project's ambitious plan to construct 4 artificial islands and subsequently an entire metropolis has only progressed about 30%, lacking even basic urban facilities like a large supermarket. The once bustling dome facility has now quieted, rarely attracting prospective customers. The workforce has significantly reduced from the original 100 salespeople to potentially just 1 representative. The daycare center is empty of children, and the large restaurant has shut its doors. A local real estate developer confessed to Nikkei, "I cannot deny that Forest City has indeed become a globally recognized ghost town." Country Garden had envisioned Forest City as an eco-friendly metropolis meant to accommodate nearly 1 million residents. However, a BBC article from last December noted that after 8 years, the barren Forest City stands as a stark reminder that the repercussions of China's real estate crisis are not confined within its borders. The article explains that the remote location of Forest City, constructed on a man-made island and distant from Johor Bahru, the nearest major city in Malaysia, has discouraged potential renters, leading to its local reputation as a ghost town. One renter, Nazmi Hanafaya, speaking to the BBC, described the area as unnerving. He relocated to Forest City a year ago, where he leased a 1-bedroom apartment in a high-rise with ocean views. After enduring 6 months, he felt compelled to leave, describing it as an escape. He said that "It's lonely here, just you and your thoughts." According to a report by Nikkei, the real estate values in Forest City, including both resale properties and unsold new units, have significantly decreased. Local real estate officials report that the average prices for 2-bedroom units have plummeted by 30% to nearly 40%, a decline that poses challenges for investors. The development of Forest City has also been influenced by the political landscape in Malaysia. Specifically, the project was temporarily suspended to assess its benefits for the Malaysian populace following Mahathir Mohamad's return to power as the Prime Minister. The BBC reported that Forest City becomes enveloped in darkness at night, with hundreds of apartments in towering buildings remaining largely unlit, with fewer than 6 showing any signs of occupancy, casting doubt on the presence of residents. Joanne Kaur, a resident interviewed by the BBC, described the environment as eerie, mentioning that even the corridors are dark during the day. She and her husband, who reside on the 28th floor of one of the towers and are the floor's sole occupants, are planning to move out soon. She also expressed sympathy for those who have invested in the area, noting that the current state of Forest City does not reflect its initial portrayal on Google. She emphasized that the reality does not match the promises made to potential buyers. Heavy rain to hit 11 Chinese provinces, nearly 27,000 people evacuated in Fujian. Amidst a heat wave in North China, the southern regions are facing torrential rains. Beginning June 14, 11 provinces and regions are set to experience heavy to torrential rains, with parts of Fujian and Guangxi particularly affected by severe torrential rains, ranging from 100 mm to 200 mm. Additionally, these localities may experience severe convective weather events, including thunderstorms and strong winds. The Fujian Provincial Flood Control Office reports that continuous heavy rainfall in central and northern Fujian has caused local disasters. By 6 a.m. on June 14, this bout of intense rainfall had impacted 51,500 people in places like Nanping and Saming, with 3,133.94 hectares of crops affected. Nearly 27,000 people in Fujian were urgently evacuated due to these conditions. While the south and northeast of China contend with heavy rains, the North China region, including Shaanxi, Hebei, Hunan, and Shandong provinces, continues to experience high temperatures. On June 13, temperatures in some parts of North China soared to as high as 43 degrees Celsius and even 44 degrees Celsius. Don't forget to leave a comment in the section below to share your opinions on today's topic with us. Make sure to like and subscribe to see more interesting topics from China Truths.